What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash, come back to Real Takes. Well, it's that time, you guys. It's reaction time, and this is to Marvel's special presentation for Werewolf by Night. Now, I was beyond hyped to watch that trailer. This was something I had told you guys in the reaction that I was not aware that was actually coming out. Don't know how I glazed over it, but that's okay. We are here now. I enjoyed the trailer. I will say two people are in it that I'm definitely a fan of. One was it Gail Garcia Bernal, and also Laura Donnelly. I'm loving her for a lot of shows. Also, The Nevers. I'm ready for that to come back. Needless to say, I was also excited the fact that a musical composer, Michael Giacchino, is actually going to be behind the camera directing this. Now, I know he's known for, music composer, for video games. I know he's done TV shows for two of my favorites, Alias and Fringe. I know he's done a couple movies like Star Trek, Jurassic World Dominion, Lightyear, some music for this particular reaction I'm about to do. So just to see that he's delving the directing, I'm truly intrigued. Is also in regards to the actual trailer, being that this looks like, I'm hoping it actually is, and that was just not for the trailer, that it's in black and white. That'll make it even more special because it gives me that era of old, besides old Hollywood, old horror movies, and that definitely is refreshing since, granted, you watch a lot of horrors and all that, and it's just regular color and all that, it's very graphic, but this just a little something about this that definitely has me even more excited to watch. So you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll see the rest of my thoughts with you guys.
Out of the darkness. In our modern world, this is where monsters dwell, alongside those who hunt and slaughter them with pride, whose patriarch has long controlled the powerful supernatural relic. The Bloodstone is his funeral. Hunters have gathered from around the globe for a ceremonial hunt which will decide who next will wield the Bloodstone.
After 20 years, I hope you didn't feel obligated to come. God knows the others won't like it. How long can we expect you to stay?
Give me what's mine, I'll leave now.
I did what I could with you.
Shame I didn't turn out.
Don't be too easy on yourself. You were the greatest disappointment of his life. So many death dealers in one room, for gathering in ritual, for shedding your masks tonight in honor of Ulysses Bloodstone. He orchestrated his presence in other ways.
With my passing, it is now time to choose a new leader in the crusade against monsters. Who slays this beast will become our new leader, taking possession of my Bloodstone.
It was to be his daughter's, but through decades of absence, Elsa has long forsaken that birthright. The stone will be affixed to the monster's hide. Those who do not survive will be honored appropriately. You shall go first. The others will follow to rid this land of its abominations.
There is no peace without blood, and so it shall be.
What? Just every man for himself, man. God damn.
Death is coming for you, lassie!
Why did you put your hand, buddy? You should have put it back. Oh, no, she did. Oh. The hell is this?
This is the last time. Oh, I know. Does it hurt? It's weakening you, right?
Oh.
Or maybe we can help each other. If you help me get the monster out of here alive, I can get you the stone. But all families have something in common. They follow us. For good, for bad, they stay like they become an atmosphere.
Telling me stories about my crazy Aunt Frances. She was positive that she'd come back from the dead at some point, and she knew that when she did, she'd need an exit strategy. Closest perimeter walls that way. Straight shot, then 2 lefts and right. There's a massive crack about halfway down. As soon as you get there, turn on the explosive, throw it at the wall, it'll stick, then get clear. Head, your friend is waiting for you.
Touch your food. There you go. Oh no.
A monster. Masquerading as one of our own.
Oh boy.
Desecrating a sacred night.
Are you okay?
Until you rip my throat out, I suppose I'm fine.
Any hunting that I do is done by a part of me that is not me.
Why do you think they put me in here with you? 5 days. Bloodstone's capable of transforming you in 5 seconds.
Oh boy.
What?
I need to remember you.
Does it work?
Once.
Right there. Oh my god.
He went that way.
I wanted to make myself available to you.
Brilliant, you can stop doing all this shit up.
Thanks, Dad. Is she okay?
I'm the one who comes to your rescue. What are you talking about? Whatever.
Alright, you guys, I enjoyed this, as they say, special presentation of Werewolf by Night. I'll say this before I kind of jump into the overall story. The potential that this really could be an actual series would be lovely. I know this is pretty much kind of like a film, you know, the way it was gathered to us, and then getting a little bit of a backstory, origin story of how all these events happen and unfold, center around a situation with a gentleman by the name of Ulysses Bloodstone, who is now passed, who was, you know, probably the main hunter. And you're seeing a woman named, I want to say Verusa, I hope I'm saying that name correctly, played by Harriet Harris, and she brings forth these particular hunters who are very skilled, whatever, and all. It's like a good, what, 5 of them, I want to say, 1, 2, 3, 5, including Gail Garcia Bernal, who's attached, and as well as a 6th one, honestly, which is Laura Donnelly's character. Her name in this, I want to remember, is Elsa. And interesting enough, as she's discussing this, and I'm talking about Verusa, she's explaining how it would have been his daughter, but being that she's been gone, I think I want to say at least a good, a couple of decades, I think she's like 20 years, so it's up for grabs, meaning these other hunters have a chance of be the helm, with that bloodstone. Now, they've set up pretty much instances within the grounds around where they have to find, this particular creature, which is called Ted, and then from there, this will pretty much seal it for the person who will become, in charge, main hunter with the bloodstone. Now, we do get a nice little setup with Ulysses, discussing from the grave, no less. And the daughter, of course, being there. And the words between Verusa and Elsa was just like, her just feeling her father being upset with her and all that, being gone so long, and feeling, just her probably growing up in that type of family. You kind of get the vibe like, yeah, there's a reason why she left and has been gone long, had not wanted. That's not kind of really something she wanted to do, but she's back to claim, her part, the family, and Verusa just is not having it. Now, when we meet, Gail, he is pretty much the character, and I want to say, excuse me, that his name is Jack. Let me just get his name because I want to make sure I remember names, trying to remember at least their main names. Just trying to, he has his own agenda. He's not really here for the Bloodstone. He's here for Ted. Ted, aka Man Thing. And he eventually, when you see the way they're set up and all that, because he, I think, wins it where he has to be the one first to go. And he's, goes in regards with this guy with this tuba that's on fire. And he starts, and they're all, the rest of the hunters will follow. And it's pretty much like they said, everyone for themselves. Whoever, last one standing has a budget, and also killing, Man Thing will get the Bloodstone. Now, in the case of the situation you see as time goes on, you see a little bit of a, not say bonding, but discussion of a little bit of understanding of dealing with family and how family treat you and why you deal with them, and how that resonates with Elsa and Jack. And that's when he kind of pretty much kind of makes her feel sort of ways that trapped in a certain spot, and they have this moment to talk and discuss a couple of things, and she comes up with a way to get him out of her room. But I will say this, I'm here for Laura Donnelly because she was bringing the action with some of her scenes prior to that little situation where they're locked together, her and Jack. And I love that because she's a baddie on another show, like I said, The Network. So needless to say, things do take a turn when they decide to help Ted, escape. She gets through and all that. Of course, he touches it. And that lets you know when he uses Bloodstone, when they're dealing with those particular creatures that you see all on the mantles within that room. When they let her know, Verusa know that he touched it, and it propelled him away. And that's when Elsa realizes there's more to him. He was not forthcoming, and rightfully so. And he's pretty much set up where they both are, put out, and they're locked into this cage. And that's when he admits to her, a situation, about he's able to control, and he does certain things to avoid. She's just like, oh yeah, good to know that now, whatever, it's going to happen. He's like, we have 5 days. And she's like, no, we don't. With the Bloodstone, it can happen in 5 seconds. And that's when he realizes, no. And he sets up, and I like to see what he does. And that's probably a good thing, because it definitely, towards the end of this actual film, it shows him smiling. He's like, I want to remember you. And she's like, oh, has that worked? And he's like, once. And I'm just like, oh God, like, okay. But that same reversal when she was like, we're going to see how you appear. He had not told them what he was. He, of course, in that midst told Elsa. And you see the scene of it happening where he's, you know, she's bloodstone on him, whatever, and it causes him to transform. And let's just say he went to town. You know, at first I thought he had ripped her arm and all, but he just kind of grabbed her, whatever. He didn't really do it, and they were, you know, literally trying to electrocute him and all that. But when he found a way out, and I said, how did he get? You know, he's strong, whatever. He bent, he got out, stand on the wall, and the fight scenes were very fast and all, and very graphic. You know, even though this is done in black and white, you know, you can see what's going on just to know what's happening. You know, and of course, eventually Elsa found her way out of it. But I will say, Verussa, at first, I thought she was eventually going to be dealt with you know, Jack/Werewolf. But she used that bloodstone in a very interesting way to keep him at bay. At first, you know, a couple of times, and eventually he kind of stopped himself. But by then, you know, with her, the damage was done. Thank you, Ted, for doing the deed. I was just like, oh, well. And we slammed her into Ulysses' casket. It's just like so fitting. But I will say, whatever Jack did when she, of course, she, you know, Elsa took, you know, the bloodstone and hid it, and it's like, you know, Jack, are you there, and all that, and he, you know, found his way on top of her and all that, and she tried to touch him, and he kind of stopped and hesitated and all that. That means it actually did work. So now this is considered the second time. I like how, like I said, Ted came back to save her because Verussa was just about to do some damage to her and dealt with that. And she kind of got him, like he left and all that. And I like the little scene between, you know, Ted and Jack at the end, and his little conversation, him understanding what he's saying, and them just sitting there, him reading, make coffee, just, you know, cute and all that. And talking about, I'm not hungry. I'm like, I can't eat right now. You know, just kind of think about what, just making sure, also asking if Elsa's okay and things of that nature. And her sitting there. And I like how it became color at the end. Really interesting, you know. And of course, like I said, being an old horror, old movie, how they would always start the movies right away. You don't really get to see too much of the end credits, and at this one, it was just the end. I love those. Sometimes I actually like that. You know, we all watch movies now where you're in the theater, and if you know, certain movies might have like maybe an end credit. Normally, it's not. It depends on, you know, which type of film. But a lot of people, we don't sit there. It's like as soon as it's done, it's done. But this one, I like. It's just like it's the end. We're done. I enjoyed some of the music throughout as well. Definitely set up some of the very intense moments prior to whatever be a reveal with one of the hunters going at it, whatever, or also with the scenes, you know, with Jack finally, you know, transforming, all that in between those sequences with the fight scenes, you know, with, you know, these kind of like henchmen of sorts for Verussa. But this was really, really good. I can't say enough. The potential. And I think, I don't know, I can't really talk about it too much because I'm trying to remember some of it, but I know Gale, when it was presented to him, he was very intrigued with the overall storyline of this individual Jack/the werewolf. So you never know, is if people really take a shine to this, it's possibly it could be potential. I'm hoping it's not just going to be just this, you know, film, and they can't, you know, have this, you know, he still technically will be a werewolf, you know, certain times, you know, of the month. And then him having his sidekick Ted/man thing, that would be nice. Now, if they brought, you know, Elsa into the fold here and there and all that, that'd be great. I will say, I don't know, you know, depending on her overall being able to do the show and do other shows, because I'm still waiting for that other show to come back on HBO. I would love for her to be doing the show, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm probably thinking too far ahead, but I can't be the one who's going to consider this. I'm going to eventually watch some other people's reactions and see if they feel the same way as I do, because the potential's there. And I'm like, they didn't hold back. Now, granted, it was in black and white. That might help it because it is a part of Disney, so, and Marvel, so we'll have to see. You know, sometimes they don't want to, they try to go above beyond the law that to even scale with people watching a lot of different types of things and then providing a lot of different stuff instead of everything being, as they want to say, wholesome, whatever you want to call it. So I'm down. I really hope it's a consideration, and as time in the next week or two, if a lot of people watch this and really take to this, and a lot of people make their comments known on social media, probably most likely like Twitter and maybe Instagram, whatever, they could consider this, you know. So with that said, you guys, comment below, let me know what you think, and with that said, I'll see you guys on the next reaction. You guys take care.